Thanks for joining us. The race to solve nearly 100 internet crimes against children in St. Louis County has come to a halt. That's after a recent judicial ruling stopped a decade-long practice in collecting evidence.
Northern News Now's Madison Green spoke to county and Duluth leaders left baffled by the action of district judges and joins us live in studio. Madison, is there a reason this decision is coming now?
Dan and Laura, according to who I spoke to today, no. What they find most frustrating is what they say is a lack of reasoning from the St. Louis County bench.
Child sexual investigations are tough cases, and the investigators that do that are special people.
St. Louis and Douglas County, Duluth and Superior created a joint task force to solve internet crimes against children more than a decade ago. And for the past 14 years, data from devices used as evidence for crimes is collected in a lab located in Superior.
Child pornographic material, or whether that's procuring illicit substances or stolen property. A lot of that dialogue is captured in those phones.
However, last December, St. Louis County judges stopped approving search warrants for cases if the evidence was being physically collected in the lab over the bridge.
Search warrants traditionally never looked at. They've never looked at what's happening after you've collected the evidence. And what it was looking at, do you have the probable cause to get that evidence? And so this is a game changer in the sense that it's, okay, now what are you doing with the evidence?
Despite the halt in these types of warrants, according to St. Louis County Sheriff Gordon Ramsey and Duluth Police Chief Mike Sanoa, warrants are still being approved that involved processing different types of data elsewhere. County and law enforcement cannot find any new legal or case law that would explain why this specific data collection is being denied.
We've asked time and again for the basis for this decision, and other than saying just their training, they haven't provided us any real basis. In addition, we've made a data request for their training, and we're told it was not public.
A frustrated Ramsey, Sanoa, and St. Louis County Attorney Kim Mackey agree on who was affected the most.
I can't imagine how it's impacting the victims. I mean, I think oftentimes it's tough to come forward with these types of crimes.
So disappointing to hear when we're talking about that backlog. How are they prepared to move forward to avoid creating an even larger backlog of cases?
Well, in their response, the chief advised Minnesota law enforcement leaders to obtain their search warrants in Douglas County if they wanted to use that lab. Kim Mackey doesn't believe that this will legally work for Minnesota state crimes, so her office is ready to take a case down to the State Court of Appeals, which would force St. Louis County to sign the warrants.
Very interesting, and definitely a case and a story we'll be following. Madison, thank you.